If you're an experienced professional trying to figure out how to grow a brand online, you've probably been looking around and thinking to yourself, is this really what I have to do? Ring lights, trending audio, pointing to text on the screen. So let me save you some time. Absolutely not. That playbook was built for influencers who need mass reach to sell to thousands of strangers. You are not trying to go viral, you're trying to be trusted. And those are two completely different games. I run a 7-figure online business while working part-time, spending a tremendous amount of time with my family and playing tennis every day. In this video, I'm walking you through the 5 stages of building what I call an expert brand. And this is the kind of brand that grows with your reputation instead of risking it. And if you want my step-by-step process for this, grab my expert brand playbook via the link in my description so you can follow along. Let's get into it. So the first stage of building an expert brand is about being useful to the people who already know you. You start by helping one person, then another, and you do great work, and then you get a result. And that result becomes the foundation that everything else is built on. One of my students, a former operations executive with over 20 years experience, got her first 2 consulting clients before she had a website, before she had a LinkedIn strategy, before she had any kind of online presence at all. One of the people that she was talking to hired her within a week, and the second client came from a referral from the first. So here's what's important about this stage. When you start with people you already know and already know your work, referrals come in pre-sold. They simply close faster. They trust your advice so much more easily, and they're way easier to work with. Plus, they send you more people just like them. This gives you momentum, and most importantly, a credible foundation for your content as you continue to grow your brand online. There is a 3-step core philosophy that you should operate by, and it comes from Alex Hormozi. The first step is to do stuff. Before you teach, you must do. Hormozi argues that you should build a business, solve real problems, and gain experience before trying to build a brand around it. Step 2 is to talk about what you did. Content should be based on your experiences instead of offering opinions, and you document your journey, sharing what worked and what didn't with your clients. Step 3 is to repeat, or as he says, do bigger stuff. So as your skills grow, your challenges and achievements become bigger, providing more valuable high-level content, which in turn builds a stronger brand. The reason to follow this process is that you can't be dismissed as a fake guru or a faux influencer if you've already done the work. Real results speak louder and will get you so much further than theoretical expertise. Step 2 is to decide what you want to be known for, because this is where people stay too stuck for far too long. They stay broad, they stay vague, they keep their opinions open because they're afraid that getting specific will close doors. Right now, if someone were to describe you to a potential client, what would they say? If the answer is some version of, she does a lot of different things, that's the problem, because nobody refers to somebody they can't describe clearly. So as soon as you start to help clients, you want to think about the intersection of 3 things: what you're genuinely excellent at, what you actually enjoy doing, and what your ideal client will pay a premium to have solved. Where these 3 things overlap, that's your zone of genius, and that's what you want to be known for. For me, it's this. I help experienced professionals build online businesses that generate $10,000 to $30,000 a month in their first year, working just part-time hours without building a massive audience. That's it. So once you start doing client work, write yours down. 1 sentence, specific enough that the right person reads it and thinks, that's exactly what I need. And that sentence is the foundation of your expert brand. Stage 3 is to niche into a process, not a person. So here's the stage that separates the people who build a real expert brand from the people who build a personal or influencer brand by mistake. Personal brands are built around a person. Expert brands are built around being known for a process. Think about the work that you do with your clients. When you take somebody from where they are right now to where they want to be, what does that journey look like? What are the phases? And what do you do in which order? What are the decisions that you make along the way that less experienced people would miss? As you do bigger stuff, you'll see patterns, and those patterns become your process. And when you name it and you package it and you're able to articulate it clearly, something really important happens. You stop being a person selling your time and you become a methodology that delivers a result. And that is a completely different conversation to have with a client, and it commands a completely different rate. If you think about it, the best processes you might be familiar with, like EOS or StoryBrand or Profit First, they don't just serve one type of business. They serve lots of different types of businesses with the same process. So your process doesn't have to be fancy. It can be as simple as, here's how I think about this problem, and these are 3 things that I look at first, and here's the sequence that I take clients through. Because when clients hire a person, they're betting on that person to be available, being motivated, being consistent. But when they hire a process, they're buying a clear path forward. And that's a much easier yes and way easier for you to deliver on. Stage 4 is begin sharing what you're seeing. Once you know what you do and how you do it, you're ready to start building your expert brand online. And this is where so many experienced professionals just completely freeze up because they think that building an online brand means being a content creator, and it absolutely doesn't. It just means sharing your perspective and to think about the conversations you're already having with clients and colleagues. These are problems that you see coming before they arrive, or patterns in your industry that most people have just not connected yet. Questions you get asked over and over again. This becomes your content. And the goal at this stage is not to go viral. The goal at this stage is to create a body of work, written or spoken or recorded, that demonstrates how you think. So when the right person finds you, they immediately know this person understands the problem at a level that I have not seen anywhere else, and I need to talk to them. Here's how I'd approach this practically. Pick one platform where your ideal clients already spend their time. So for most of the professionals that I work with, that's LinkedIn. And then start sharing one substantive thing a day. Not a tip, not a quick take, something with real depth. Maybe an observation from a client engagement, or just a pattern that you keep seeing, or a take on conventional wisdom in your field that you think is wrong and what you do instead. You don't want to simplify your thinking by making it more digestible or watering it down. Your ideal clients are sophisticated and they can handle nuance. In fact, they're kind of hungry for it because everything online seems like it's been dumbed down for mass appeal. So here's the thing about starting with your network first. By the time you get to this stage, you already have clients, you already have results. And so when you share what you're seeing, you're not speculating. You're reporting from the field. And that changes everything about how it lands. Stage 5 is to explode your expert brand. The final stage is where you build the content engine that makes your expert brand compound over time. And the word I want you to hold on to here is compound, because this is the fundamental difference between how personal brands grow and how expert brands grow. Personal brands are addictive. Every post adds a little bit more visibility or vulnerability. Every follower adds reach, and when you stop feeding the machine, it stops. You take a week off and the numbers drop. Change platforms and you start over. The algorithm decides whether or not anybody actually even sees your work. But expert brands are about compounding. So a well-crafted Substack article you write today is still finding new readers 2 years from now. A speaking engagement leads to a podcast invitation that leads to a book deal. A client you serve exceptionally well becomes a referral source for 5 more. And that work builds upon itself. One more thing about this stage. Once you have content, use it in more than one place. So a LinkedIn article can become an email newsletter. An email newsletter becomes a video script. A video script becomes 3 short clips. One well-crafted idea deployed intelligently gives you a week's worth of present without a week's worth of creation. This is how you stay consistent without burning out. I use Claude projects for all of this, and that makes content creation a breeze. I want to take a minute to talk about what actually happens when you build an expert brand the right way, because I don't think enough people actually talk about this. The first thing you notice is that your clients come in differently. They are not cold. They've already read your work, watched how you think, and formed an opinion of your expertise before you even speak. So the first sales conversation isn't about you trying to prove your value. It's just 2 intelligent people figuring out if it makes sense to work together. That is a completely different dynamic, and it makes closing clients feel less like selling and more like selecting. The second thing that happens is that your rates go up, not because you got bold and you decided to charge more one day, but because your positioning makes premium pricing a logical conclusion. When you're the person known for a specific thing, when your process is documented and your results are visible, you are not one of 10 people in the sea of sameness. You are the option. and you get to price accordingly. Third, and this one takes a little longer, but it's arguably the most valuable, opportunities start coming to you that you didn't pitch for. I've had students inside of my program, Expert Freedom, who landed their first speaking engagement within just a few weeks of getting clear on their positioning. Not because they were insta-famous, but because they were specific and credible and easy to refer. Someone knew what they stood for, trusted their expertise, and made a phone call. The great news is that you do not need to become someone else to build a successful online business. You do not need to dance on Reels or report your life on Instagram to stand out. You do not need to dumb down what you know to make it more palatable for the algorithm. The personal brand playbook was not written for you. It was written for people who are starting from zero, who need mass reach, because they need mass volume to make their business model work. That is not your situation. Your situation is that you have decades of hard-earned expertise, a professional network that already trusts your judgment, and a track record that most people starting a business would kill for. If you want a step-by-step process for doing all of this in a community of experts just like you or who are positioning themselves and their expert brand for scale, definitely check out the link in my description to schedule a chat with my team. They'd love to talk to you and see if Expert Freedom could be a fit for you. Remember, the right clients are not waiting for you to go viral. They're waiting for you to show up and be clearly, specifically, undeniably the right person for what they need. In the next video, I'm going to share with you the 15-hour work week that built my 7-figure business. So I'll see you over there.